In the news this week, parents speak out against LGBT lessons in primary schools. Doctors maintain opposition to assisted suicide. And a couple shares how their child with Down syndrome has enriched their lives. Hello. More and more parents are speaking out against attempts by the government and outside groups to impose LGBT issues on primary school children. 7 schools in Greater Manchester have been contacted by parents to complain about proposed lessons. And in Birmingham, several schools have dropped the controversial No Outsiders scheme. Parents are also protesting against lessons at Anderton Park Primary School in Birmingham, which has previously worked with radical LGBT group Educate and Celebrate. The Christian Institute's Education Officer John Denning said schools need to respect parents' views.
Well, schools must be kind and welcoming places for all pupils, but some of this teaching goes beyond that. Ellie Barnes, who leads Educate and Celebrate, which works with one of these schools, has said that we must keep driving the rainbow bus until we arrive at the land of social justice. She's entitled to her view, but schools are not entitled to promote a view to children. They also encourage schools to use the video Jamie, a Transgender Cinderella Tale, which suggests to young girls with an interest in engineering that they may really be boys. Many parents will disagree that the destination of the rainbow bus is really the utopia Ellie Barnes thinks it is. Parents need to have confidence that schools are observing the proper boundaries of their role.
A controversial poll by the Royal College of Physicians has shown that doctors continue to oppose assisted suicide. It also showed that 43% of doctors think the college should be opposed, while less than a third want to see it lobby the government for change. Despite this, the RCP has formally ended its opposition to the practice in favour of a neutral stance, the position least favoured by doctors. When asked if they would personally help a patient to kill themselves, fewer than 1 in 4 respondents said they would actively participate. Earlier this week, we spoke to Dr. David Randall, who accused some at the RCP of trying to force through the change without support.
This is a really important patient safety concern. And actually, as doctors, our first responsibility is to safeguard the people we're looking after. And many of us are very concerned that vulnerable individuals, perhaps elderly people, might come under a lot of pressure to ask for assisted suicide, perhaps from family members or because of the feeling that they're a burden on others. And while the law at the moment protects these people, the law changes, their lives could be in danger.
Writer and broadcaster Caroline Farrow has been investigated by police for criticising underage sex change surgery on Twitter. The alleged incident followed a 2018 televised debate between Farrow and Susie Green, head of trans charity Mermaids. Mrs. Farrow tweeted that while Susie Green might want to give her own child illegal medication and drastic surgery, she shouldn't impose it on other vulnerable kids as best practice. Susie Green lodged a formal complaint with Surrey Police. Criminologist Dr. David Green said, "This appears to be a case of hurt feelings." He added, "The police should have understood that, but they are so concerned with polishing their image and making themselves look good with pressure groups that they have forgotten justice." At present, the police investigation remains open. And finally, a couple have shared how having a child with Down syndrome has enriched their lives. Victoria and Jamie did not know much about the condition when their daughter Rosie was born and were initially quite scared. They have since found life with her to be full of joy and say she has changed their perspective on life. Mum Victoria said people say it's changed their way of thinking, just being part of her life. She teaches us more than we could teach her. Dad Jamie is now chairman of Wouldn't Change a Thing, a group which works to remove misconceptions surrounding Down syndrome. The group released a video for Down Syndrome Day to show the joyful lives of those who live with the condition. Well, that's all for this week. For more information and regular updates on all of our stories, plus much more, visit our website at christian.org.uk. Until next time, goodbye.